Hello everybody, the Supreme President King here, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to VonHoolia right here in the game NationStates. So, VonHoolia has gone through a lot of changes. If we look at this fact book right here, in the timeline right here, it says Christos becomes a part of VonHoolia. And what that means is I had a nation in NationStates called Christos. And what I did was I incorporated Christos into VonHoolia. And a lot of things have changed. As you can see right here, capital changes. Costa Rica is no longer the capital, it is Christos. And then if we go back to the main page, we can see that the flag of VonHoolia has changed, and also the motto. And that motto now is strength through equality, prosperity, and unity. And if you look in this history fact book, you can see that before it was equality, prosperity, unity. But we changed it when VonHoolia incorporated Christos into itself. So if you want to take a look at this fact book, this is history of VonHoolia, shows the timeline, capital changes, motto changes, even has the flag gallery as well, with the dates of when I uploaded the video when the change happened. Alright, so moving on, we go to the VonHoolia overview. This is just a little recap to see what has changed, what hasn't changed in VonHoolia since the last video. So as you know, the flag has changed, the motto has changed, the capital has changed. The branches of government, the Supreme Branch, Legislative Branch, and the Judicial Branch haven't really changed. The Council of Faiths hasn't changed. I have updated the overview fact book a little bit. Right here you can see there's information that takes some of the former nation of Christos's information and puts it with VonHoolia. Right here, one of them is the military personification of VonHoolia, which is Captain Empire and Captain Liberty. They're just like Uncle Sam or Captain America or Lady Liberty. Another change is the measurement system. We do a mix of imperial and metric. We don't just stick to one. We do a mix. And here's the flag again of VonHoolia. This was the former flag of Christos, but this one is just a little updated. Christos had... I will put up a picture of Christos's flag so you can compare. The flag of Christos had a liberty torch here, but I changed it to just the crown and then the leaf, what is it? The leaves of peace or something. So that's what the change was. And then right here, flag of the Supreme President King and the flag of Congress. So VonHoolia also took the national anthem of Christos, called Our Land and Home. And then the federal holidays have been updated. As you can see, there's Supreme Week, commemorates the Supreme President King. And then Creators Day, November 3rd, which commemorates the creation of my YouTube channel. So yes, a federal holiday where a YouTube channel is celebrated. Alright, and then we move on to territories and places of VonHoolia. These three right here are 3 administrative cities. They're like states. Obviously the federal capital, Christos, the royal capital, Coronisburg, and then San Miguel, which is the religious center. And as you can see, that's where the Arbiter and the Council of Faiths meet and reside. As you can see, as of right now, we have 15 states and we have 2 kingdoms. Momoa and Barsala were actually former nations in nation-states, along with Essena, and then Novoya, and Phoenicia as well. They were all former nations in nation-states that I made, or I took the name of, and I let them expire. So now they're part of VonHoolia as states or kingdoms. And then here are some landmarks of VonHoolia. Some of these came from Christos, like the Centrum. The Commons, where the president resides, was a name that we named the place where the president resides in Christos. And then here are some religious centers and landmarks in San Miguel. And then some other places. This is a new one, the National Amusement Park, founded by President Marcus Harrison. Yes, one of the presidents of VonHoolia enjoyed amusement parks so much that he founded one for the nation. Alright, and then I would like to update all of you and show you that we found an Easter egg. And that Easter egg gave us this badge. So what was the Easter egg that we found? Well, that Easter egg was putting a color in this area. So I did the blue Democratic Republic, and I waited long enough after answering a lot of issues. And finally, I got the Easter egg issue, because I had a color in this area. It takes a long time sometimes. It depends. It's honestly by chance. But it came, and I got my first Easter egg. As you can see here, the currency is gold bars, but it's actually dollar marks. The gold bars actually is me trying to get another Easter egg. And then as you can see right here, monster bat dog. The national animal is just the dog, but the monster bat is me also trying to get an Easter egg. Alright, so with that, we're gonna go ahead and move on to some issues. So let's get right into it. Alright, so the first issue at hand, tilting at wind turbines. The issue. An unprecedented spectacle unfolded yesterday when Minister of Energy Don La Mancha was attending a conference on alternate energy resources. La Mancha is reported to have attacked a wind turbine with an improvised spear, all the time shouting loudly that it was trying to kill him. It turns out that the minister was suffering from schizophrenia, which he had not previously disclosed for fear of losing his job. Alright, so let's see what people have to say. So the debate. Number 1. My behavior was completely uncalled for, apologizes La Mancha. My medication timings were a little mixed up by all the traveling, and I genuinely believed for a moment that the wind turbine was a giant. I assure you, I am still capable of doing my job, and it would be a good thing for this country if you were to show some kindness here. No one should be discriminated against because of mental illness. Okay? Number 2. He must stand down, grandiosely demands your Secretary of State Sigmund Narcissus, stepping directly in front of the energy minister with clear intent on to exclude the man. It's fine for mentally weak people to participate in low-level jobs like pizza delivery or drink bottling, but they have no business being in government. Imagine the danger that we would face if we left cruise missile launch codes with a psychotic individual. Politicians with mental disorders must be given the sack. Yikes. And finally, that doesn't go far enough, screams your national security advisor, who appears to be wearing a highly reflective helmet. Oh boy. How can we be sure that people with mental disorders won't poison our food or sabotage our infrastructure in a fit of madness? We must bar them completely from all forms of employment that way. He stops abruptly and glares suspiciously at a nearby television. Can we adjourn to another room? I think we're being spied on. Alright, so we're definitely not going to choose number 3, and number 2 is but I feel like La Mancha should have disclosed his mental illness. But I'm going to give him another chance. You know, as long as he takes his medicine and keeps at it, he should be okay. So I'm going to choose number 1. So let's see what happened. Small children are learning a lot of new words from a teacher with Tourette's syndrome. Oh boy. So in NationStates, there is no right answer when answering issues. There are bad answers, of course, but there are no right answers. So you might get weird things happening like this. And then here are the recent headlines. If you want to look at them, go ahead and pause the video and read them. And then right here, recent trends, data. So if you want to read this, go ahead and pause the video right here. All right, we move on to the next issue. No need to beat yourself up about it. All right. What is going on here? Now is the Holy Week of the religion of the tranquility of yellow. 7 days of divine celebration climax on the last day, when young men and boys self-flagellate in the streets in order to prove their devotion to their god. This display is always a bloody spectacle, and sometimes participants end up in the hospital. What is flagellate? Let's check what flagellate means. What does flagellate mean? Flogging. Ah, they whip themselves. Okay. Good to know. Well, let's see what people have to say. Number 1. This is a horrid exhibition, declares Elizabeth Berry, a young mother who had to dodge the self-whipping. I'm just gonna say that. As she brought her kids home from school. How can this preemptive horror show be permitted in our civilized society? At the end of the day, there's so much blood in the streets that it looks like a battlefield. Ban this frightful demonstration and force those yellow-white weirdos to pray nicely. Okay. Second one. Yes, blood in the street never looks good, concurs Heather Graves, your chief of police. Foreign news agencies that aren't friendly towards us always claim that the blood comes from VonHoolia police brutality, but that as it may, we can't give them fuel to add to their fire. Tell these yellow whites that if they must flog themselves, do it inside their own homes, not on the streets. Okay. Next, if eternal darnation is what you seek, Supreme President King, then go ahead and ban it. Smugly declares Sebastian Siena, a yellow-white priest, as his nurse tends to his many wounds. The week of Holy Yellow has been observed for 1,000 years, and the act of scourging ourselves in mass is the pinnacle of the week. We must be allowed to follow our religious ideals without hindrance. The commandments say that we need to be punished. In fact, it wouldn't hurt if the government be more supportive of us whippers. Start portraying Holy Yellow in a more positive way, and let's see some advertisements about the benefits of self-whipping. Yes, just like that. The priest screams in ecstasy as his nurse tends to a particularly deep wound. Alright. Well, let's move to the next one. Let's slowly step away from that room. Alright. That's not a bad idea, muses Merrick Mullins, the principal of your niece's school, who came to your offices to discuss the best way to discipline your wayward niece. Because we don't allow the use of corporal punishment on children, our kids are out of control. Since teachers aren't allowed to physically caution the children, we should make a law that forces kids to punish themselves. Timmy, you didn't do your homework? Whip yourself for 10 minutes. It's perfect. I am not doing that. Well, since we live in a society, I think it's best that, you know, they rent out a building or buy a building and they can whip themselves in buildings instead of out on the street where everyone can see, because we don't want to promote self-harm. That is the compromise I am willing to do. So we're going to choose number 2. Religious households enthusiastically will use whips in private. Ah, yes. And then here are some headlines. If you want to check it out, pause the video. And then the sweet, sweet data trends right here. Alright, moving on. Next. Build a better baby. Top fertility clinics in the United Federation, an ultra-capitalist nation that you nonetheless have historically amicable relations with, have recently announced a new service allowing parents to create so-called designer babies. This is something that is not currently offered by state-administered hospitals in VonHoolia. Okay. So let's check out the debate on this. Number 1. I honestly don't see what the big deal is, says Ambassador Belinda Pelosi, proudly showing you the ultrasound image of the designer pregnancy she purchased while posted to the United Federation. I simply made sure that the little comrade will have the very best genetic makeup that my partner and I could offer. That should be the right of every couple in our proud nation. Boost the health budget so that everyone can choose to have the perfect baby. Okay. 2. This technology stands as a testament to the deep-seated moral corruption of the United Federation's ruling class, opines Igmar Washington, a senior member of the Party Committee on Ethics. Notice how it effectively annihilates anyone who doesn't conform to the capitalist ideal of optimally profitable workers. And who are we to say that the discarded embryos do not deserve an equal opportunity to be born and to flourish? Embryonic screening should be outlawed, and anyone who travels abroad to undergo these procedures should be duly prosecuted. Okay. Number 3. Optimal workers, you say? Inquires Michonne Huxley, your Minister of Health. That raises an intriguing idea. What if, rather than making genetic profiling freely available to all parents, we made it mandatory? Imagine, we could have a whole new generation of genetically engineered workers that are ultra-productive and inclined to obedience to the state, with an enhanced ability to contribute to the greater good of VonHoolia. Alright, so, if I was a dictator, I'd choose number 3, but I am not. And since VonHoolia is a free society, people should be free to choose however they want to reproduce. So I'm going to choose number 1. Young people suspect their parents might be a little stupid. That's funny. That even without doing all that stuff, it happens on the regular, where young people suspect their parents might be stupid. Alright. Here are some headlines. And then here, oh, we got a postcard. Cool. And then here, oh, we got a lot more data this time. So I'll try to get everything inside. There we go. So pause the video if you want to read that. Alright, moving on to the next issue, Give a Dog a Bone. Alright, as you stoop to pin a violet heart on the chest of a wheelchair-bound war veteran, he tugs the leash of his ex-army attack dog and demands your attention. Okay. What is this about? Number 1, it's about time we recognize the sacrifice animals have made for VonHoolia, he grumbles. Why? Lassie here took out 6 insurgents by herself, disarmed the nuclear device, and entertained the troops with cartwheels and backflips. She deserves a medal and medical care as much as any of us. Okay. Number 2, how interesting, muses recruiting Sergeant Dawa Weatherhead while examining the set of Nashers on Lassie. If one dog can do all that, imagine what an army full of them could achieve. And no more injured soldiers to bother the press, as the saying goes. Don't look a gift dog in the mouth, rather than waste money on old war dogs that are too aged to fight. We should be funding more frontline fighters. Oh gosh, that can go for the humans too. He sneers disdainfully at the veteran in the wheelchair. I don't like that. Moving on. Haven't you seen Dawn of the Rise of the Planet of the Dogs? Cautions a skeptical aide, prodding the hindquarters of Lassie. I don't think we want an army full of dogs, but there's certainly food for thought here. Let them serve alongside soldiers, and when they've done their duty, they can serve us one final occasion. Dinner. Oh my god. No. No, these are bad. These are bad already. There's only one good one right now. Let's see what number 4 has before we decide, though. Dogs do enough for us already. They shouldn't be in our military, pleads Timmy DeCastro from the accompanying media pack. Can't we leave them in peace to do as nature intended? Rescuing children from abandoned mine shafts, throwing ropes to children on runaway rafts rapidly approaching waterfalls, and fronting up popular TV franchises. That sort of thing. I agree. They should do this stuff. But dogs will do what their humans want them to do. And since Lassie did great during her service, we're gonna give Lassie a medal because she is a good boy. Or a good girl. A good dog. There we go. Alright. War vets look after war animals. Sweet. Here are the headlines. Check them out, check them out. And then here are the recent trends. Alright, and the final issue for today. Don't burn, baby, don't burn. Alright, yesterday a house in Costa Rica caught fire while 2 young children were inside. Firefighters rescued the children who were found hiding from the flames in a closet before it was too late. Okay. What does that mean? What is this issue about? Number 1. Children who are unfamiliar with fire instinctively hide from it, says Fire Chief McIntyre, holding up a weighty fire safety manual titled Fires. They're not lit. Nice. We've even seen situations where kids have hidden from uniformed firefighters. You should add fire safety to the national curriculum and provide grants for fire departments to visit schools so that we can teach kids how to escape fires. Okay. Next one. Wait, the parents left children alone at home? Cries Colin Sims while ignoring his leashed up toddlers who are sticking their slimy hands into your sweets jar. Thanks, kids. If these kids were not left home alone, they would have never needed rescuing. Children should always be supervised by at least one adult guardian at all times who can rescue them from emergencies. It's the only way to keep them safe. Also, parents should be charged with child neglect if their children are left unaccompanied. Okay, and the last is, a fire can't get out of control when nothing in the house can burn, says pyrophobe Iris Bennett, decked out in a fire proximity suit and wearing a fire extinguisher on her back like a diving tank. Just mandate that all, yes all, household objects be fire resistant. That way fires can't spread as quick, and children will be less likely to face life or death situations, at least not ones related to fires. Here, I brought a new fireproof suit for you. And children will be less likely to face life or death situations, at least not ones related to fires. Here, I've brought a new fireproof suit for you. You look good in yellow, fluoro, very slimming, thanks. But I'm not going to choose you, and I'm not going to choose this. I think we should teach the kids of VonHoolia, because they need to know how to escape fires. Stop, drop, and roll, and get the heck out of the building. They're going to choose number 1. Kindergartner's favorite dance moves is the stop, drop, and roll. There you go. See, that's what you gotta do. And then here are some headlines if you want to check them out. And here are some data. Woo, data. Alright, so those were the 5 issues that we dealt with in VonHoolia. If you want to watch more about VonHoolia, I now have 2 playlists. One is about nation states called Nation States Creating a Country, and the other playlist is Welcome to VonHoolia, which is more of an expanded universe, more videos from other games like City Skylines, Roller Coaster Tycoon, and Nation States itself. So with that, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked it, hit that like button, subscribe for more awesome content, and I'll see you in the next video. The Supreme President King